Our objectives, our main objective was to assess the bone metabolism biomarkers in children below the age of 2 years. Our other objectives, our specific objectives, we were determining the individual prevalences of serum bone biomarkers, abnormalities. We also described the pattern of serum bone biomarkers abnormalities and also compared the pattern of bone metabolism abnormalities in the male and female children. We also wanted to assess the association between the serum bone biomarkers abnormalities and the length of hospital stay. Onto our methodology. The design was a retrospective cross-sectional study. The site was at the Kenyatta National Hospital Department of Health Information. This is where the files from the pediatric wards are archived. The population was children below the age of 2 years admitted with pneumonia between June and December 2024. The data was the bone metabolism biomarkers, and the sample size calculated using Fisher's formula was found to be 120 participants. The data abstracted included alkaline phosphatase, calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D. These biomarkers were interpreted using the Kenyatta National Hospital Biochemistry Lab reference ranges, as we shall see in the next slide. We also calculated the length of hospital stay using the dates of admission and dates of discharge or death. The data was analyzed for association using chi-square and odds ratios. And we took our statistical significance with a p-value of less than 0.05. This study was also approved by the Kenyatta National Hospital, University of Nairobi Ethics and Research Committee. These are the reference ranges from the Kenyatta National Hospital Biochemistry Lab. Calcium, the range was 2.1 to 2.6 millimoles per liter. Phosphorus, 0.8 to 1.6 millimoles per liter. Alkaline phosphatase at 120 to 375 international units per liter. And vitamin D, that to 40 nanograms per ml. Our results, the study included 120 participants, where the majority, 54%, were female, with the ages ranging from 18 days to 24 months. The mean age was 10.5 months. We can also see the majority were between 8 months and 1 year. Also, the length of hospital stay ranged from 1 day to 209 days, with a median of 15 days. So there we can see the majority of children stayed in the hospital only for less than 2 weeks. The average length of hospital stay was found to be 22.3 days. Onto the results. For the three serum biomarkers for bone metabolism, calcium, phosphorus, and alkaline phosphatase, majority of the children had normal values. That's calcium around 62.5, phosphorus 59%, ALP 62.5. But when it comes to vitamin D, majority had vitamin D deficiency, as we can see, at around 61.2%. Also to note, hypercalcemia was the least at 3.3%. For the pattern in male and female children, for calcium, it's where we had the most disparity. Having female children, the prevalence of hypocalcemia at 40%, while that of their male counterparts was at 27.2%. That was a major difference. We can see the chi-square p-value at 0.075. It was not significant, but it was a borderline. Say, of note, in larger studies, it can be significant. The p-value is very borderline because for significance we have less than 0.05. For the other bone markers, they are relatively The same for male and female. For vitamin D, for phosphorus, for alkaline phosphatase. On association between length of hospital stay and bone metabolism biomarkers, calcium again was the one we found an association at p-value of 0.043. It was a slight significant, but a significance after all this, and odds ratio of 2.47. The other bone markers, serum biomarkers for bone metabolism, there was no significance. On to a discussion. About a third of the participants of these children had hypocalcemia. This correlates with with other studies, such as that of Zhao in China and in Nigeria, where they reported roughly the same prevalences at 33% in China and the 7% in Nigeria. But in the gender, in our setup, we found out that the female children had the highest prevalence of hypocalcemia. But in a study in Europe, they had found that hypocalcemia high prevalence was found in males. We also found that most of the children with low calcium had also low vitamin D at 86%, which supports the nutritional etiology of hypocalcemia. We know vitamin D is related with calcium. There's that how vitamin D is used in the absorption of calcium and phosphorus in the in the gut. Vitamin D deficiency was the most prevalent at 62.1%. This is also the same in the other studies that we found literature on. That is in Nigeria at 51%, in India at 86.4%. In our study, we did not see any correlation of vitamin D with the length of hospital stay, unlike the study in Nepal, where they found a correlation with the low vitamin D and the increased length of hospital stay. The prevalence of hypophosphatemia was 12.5%. So we can see there's an occurrence of both hypocalcemia and hypophosphatemia, which can be explained by the high prevalence of vitamin D deficiency. As we have seen, vitamin D is used it's important in the absorption of these two minerals. For the prevalence of elevated DLP levels, in these studies we found 10.9% prevalence. It's similar with studies in Africa, for example in Uganda, where they found 14.5% prevalence. However, it differs with this study in Ethiopia, where they found a very large prevalence at 70%. But this could be explained by the definition of rickets. In their definition, they had a different definition to ours. In conclusion, the prevalences of hypocalcemia, hypophosphatemia, elevated DLP, and vitamin D were for hypocalcemia about that's 3%. We also, the highest was for vitamin D deficiency at 61.2%. We also find the prevalence of hypocalcemia was high in the female children compared to their male counterparts. Also, no significant difference in the serum phosphorus, ALP, and vitamin D abnormalities in the male and female children, apart from that of calcium. In the other biomarkers, no difference. We also found there was a weak significant relationship between calcium and the length of hospital stay, as you've seen, an odds ratio of 2.475. The other biomarkers did not find any statistical significance. I'd like to acknowledge the staff at the Department of Health Information at the KNH for their help in retrieving the files. Also, my family for funding this research. Thank you, and I welcome any questions from you.